Hello, Schroiters. Hamburglar here. A lot of you have been asking about AI and what it means for the future of Schroit. And this is what I'd like to discuss with you today. Well, first of all, I'd say that my background is not in AI, but I did some research, and if you have anything to correct me on it, whatnot, then yeah, we're not gonna get very deep in stuff, anyways. Um, okay, so is it a threat to Schroit? Well, I wouldn't say so. I think it's more of an addition than anything. But this is what we're going to see today, and this is why I'd like to open by showing some tools. Because in AI and music, we're starting to see some tools floating around that lets you make music pretty simply. Okay, music for the most part. You'll see some of it is actually pretty good, especially when you're talking about Schroit. You can get some cool stuff going. So there's like two tools that I'd like to show you today. We're going to walk through them a little bit, and we'll rate them, I guess, from a Schroit perspective, of course. So first of all, you can already see here, I've got a SoundDraw. And what SoundDraw lets you do, it's a really neat tool. It lets you make music by picking some different categories, if you will, different components of your music. It will generate a whole bunch of music for you based on your criterias, right? So let's say I want something happy. I want a happy mood. I want it to be drum and bass. I want it to be corporate. Let's say, for the sake of this video, something maybe just like 10 seconds. But tempo, we'll keep it like that. And then I can kind of filter out tools. Now, obviously, you can see some of this stuff is unavailable as options. That obviously gonna depend. That's gonna depend on some of the first components you pick, right? That maybe some people might not like that limitation. I don't really mind personally. I guess it kind of makes sense. Although again, I'm not. I'm a Schroiter. I'm not a musician, right? You know what I mean. All right. So you see, it made a bunch of music. It also makes the thumbnail for you, which is nice. Although I guess that's probably a preset. So there's that. And yeah, let's take a look. I hope you can hear that. Wow. Pretty short. Pretty short. Yeah, pretty short, but sweet. I don't know. Let's go for something more, a little bit longer. Okay, let's go maybe 0-2 this time. Okay. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I'll put the volume up too. Nice. Very nice. Let's try something else. Just another thing, and then we'll move on. Yeah, let's try techno and trance, running. You see, there's a lot of options. It's really cool. Let's go for something fast, and let's stick to the bells. Only bells. That's all you need, really. One thing I'll have to say as a downside is there's no yaoi. One thing, and I think that's one of the reasons that maybe AI can't really reach Schroit too much is they can't do yaoi for the most part, but we'll get into that a little bit later with that next tool that might be able to do some yaoi for you. I can barely hear that. Oh yeah. Okay, now it's good. Wow. awesome, right? And see, this is a really quick and fun way to make a Schroit album. And about that, well, there is now a Schroit album made from this, from me actually, named Blik Mick. And we're not going to listen to all of it. It will probably be in the link in the description if you want to check it out. Obviously, you can just see it here, but I think my favorite songs of the album, personally, and I think from some of the feedback I've had, it's probably some of the best of the album, are the Proof songs, Proof of. So I'd like to listen to Proof of Work with you. Tell me this isn't a band. I think we've spent enough time on this tool. If you want to listen to the album, feel free to go check it out. Actually, I didn't realize. I guess people really like Blick McKnight, huh? It's a pretty banger song, huh? Okay. Alright. Yeah, let's move on to the next tool. What else does AI have to offer us? And obviously, I know there's a lot more tools out there. I just kind of did some research and picked some of the first two to check, hey, is this good for Schroit? And so far, I've been pretty impressed with SoundDraw, but let's see what else is offered to us, or rather, offered to us soon, because this is Music LM from Google, which is still in an experimental phase, but you can be on a wait list for this, so I am on the wait list, and you better believe the moment that this comes out to the public, or, well, rather that I get on, I get on to try it, I'm gonna drop a Schroit album from this, because you have not seen anything, right? SoundDraw is cool, but it's not very flexible, as you've seen, right? It has some flexibility, but you have less control, right? You're not gonna get yowies in there unless maybe you you win the gacha, if you know what I mean, right? So I'm introducing you Music LM, and you can see the way it works, or there's multiple ways it works, but I guess this is kind of the main way, is you're generating audio from a prompt. So this is basically ChatGPT, but they respond with music, right? So I'd like to give a little listen to this first song here. Right, tell me this isn't good. And see, like, all the detail. I'm not going to read it, but you can really get, like, some detail in there, right? I'm sure I could ask it, hey, add some yaoi, right? Maybe I could even train this on audio. I think that might be a feature down there. So if I wanted to do, maybe in the future, like a Yo-Yo Wiggins style album, I could maybe train it on some Yo-Yo Wiggins. And, get some Yo-Yo Wiggins style stuff going, right? Then you can see, I can generate longer stuff. There's a story mode, which is cool, I guess, if you want to make some sort of themed album. I don't know, maybe like The Legend of Zelda, and you want to do, something about the game of Legend of Zelda with like different parts of the game, I don't know. Pretty cool. We'll skip ahead and you see, like, as you move through the story, the music changes. So and you have lyrics. I forgot to mention that. You have lyrics. It's unintelligible, but it's still lyrics. It's something. Maybe it's possible to write your own lyrics, but I'm not sure. Then you have other stuff. You can like embed melodies, so that could be cool maybe for something like a remix, or I could do copper wires, but entirely less whistled or something like that, right? That would be pretty darn cool if you ask me. Ooh, and then we get to one of my favorite parts of Music LM, the painting caption conditioning. You can take an image and it will make music out of it. I don't know if you need to give, maybe you do have to give the author and the description. But anyways, regardless, it's pretty cool, right? But like, imagine that. You're making a Schroit album, okay? You need a cover for your album. What are you gonna do? Well, you might as well turn it into a song. Then you have more stuff and whatnot. I think we have the big idea now. You can see this, the possibilities with this tool are endless. Endless. Right? So, let's get into the next part of this video. I want to talk about ChatGPT. And I mean, you can already see here, but generating music with AI, it goes past, it's not just about making the music itself, right? You can ask AI to write the input you need for the music. So for example, with Beatbox, what can you do? Well, you can save your music as a JSON. So if you could generate a JSON with AI that works with Beatbox, you could, you know, have AI write music for Beatbox, right? So that's what I thought, you know. I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe ChatGPT could also be interesting for Schroit. But I'm going to show you, maybe it's not so ideal in the end. So, I said, hey, can you write a short 1-second bebop song as a JSON, right? Obviously 1 second, not asking for a lot. But the thing is, if you've looked at an actual JSON for Schroit before, it's not going to look that short. There's a lot that goes into it, right? There's so many factors, and ChatGPT can hardly keep track of that, clearly, even with GPT-4. So you see what they say, oh yeah, of course I can do that, and then they put that. And you try to put it in Beatbox, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You'll go to import it, it doesn't open anything, it's non-functional. Okay? So you know, that's the thing with ChatGPT, it's like super confident saying, oh yeah, of course I know how to do that, and then it says a load of bullshit, if you know what I mean, right? So then I thought, okay, well, maybe it can't really write Schroit from scratch, but maybe if I ask it to remix a song, it can do it, right? So I picked something I did for a Twist album that was like not very long. I gave it, I said, hey, remix this. Right, and obviously, I guess you could have a better input, if you will. I could have said, like, oh, change those specific things. You know, at this point it gets kind of lame, but you know, you could probably have a better prompt than what I did. I'm not saying that ChatGPT is you know, awful at making Schroit. It's just it's not so simple. Right, so I gave all this input. Right? And then they say, oh yeah, of course I can do that. And they start writing, and writing, and writing, and writing. And eventually it reaches its limit, and there's a little button that says, oh, you can continue the response. It actually didn't do anything, so I had to say, hey, continue the response. And I mean, it like didn't complete well technically because there was like a curly bracket missing I needed to add, but whatever. Said, hey, continue. And I continued. Fair enough. Right? And then I paste those two things in my editor for JSON, for just Visual Studio Code. And it doesn't work. There's an error with brackets not being closed, so I played around a bit. I was like, nope, ChatGPT, it doesn't work. What's the deal? They're like, oh, sorry, I'm gonna fix it. It still didn't work, but I ended up fixing it. I was like, wow, this is gonna be such a great song. I import it into beatbox, and that's what it is, right? So I don't know, making Schroit with ChatGPT, not so simple. Maybe there's a way. Maybe you could really segment it and give it a lot more detail, but it's not ideal for Schroit, is what I'm getting at. So there's that. Now, obviously, again, there's more tools out there. Another thing that could be interesting, because when we're talking about AI and Schroit, and I'm deviating a little bit, we're talking a lot about, like, oh, automating Schroit, like mass producing Schroit, like I want to make a lot of Schroit, right? But it could be interesting too, and I could maybe do that soon. I didn't do it for the sake of this video, because I didn't. Maybe I'll do it later. You could just, like, make some sort of script to replace your values in the remix for you, right? Or you could make Schroit from scratch. You could generate a JSON from scratch with a script. Or you could just make a script that takes your JSON, it looks for those values, like, oh, the tick, it changes the value for the tick. It changes, what other value? I don't know, the freaking, the reverb, the chord type, it changes all those values. So it could be interesting to do something like that as well, some sort of Schroit randomizer that someone could train AI on Schroit, right? Wouldn't be a small task necessarily, but someone who maybe has more knowledge with AI could find a way to train AI on Schroit and have it make some maybe bangers, right? Because as you've seen so far, with the tools we have, I doubt AI is going to pull a futility of looking both ways soon, right? Maybe with Music LM, hey, if you give it a really good prompt, maybe. So, to conclude, is AI a threat to Schroit? Not really. I think it's more of an addition than anything. As I just said, like, I don't see any sort of tool doing a futility of looking both ways tomorrow. Like Schroit artist, I've been enjoying it. As a time of the video, there's been like one more AI album, I think. So yeah, I wouldn't fear AI. It's a good tool for Schroiters, and I don't really see being a problem more than anything. It's an addition. Yeah, thanks for watching.